Florida Life Care Residents Association works to ensure quality of life in retirement communities. We represent residents in the state legislature and work with various groups that represent the providers to understand the legislation and rules as they impact our residents. We pass this knowledge to our residents through many educational avenues. FLiCRA chapters and residents' councils work closely together to safeguard our quality of life. The following modules are the result of an ongoing education initiative based on questions from residents and residents' councils. The modules begin with the basics and proceed to more advanced information vital to running a successful residents' council. This training was developed by subject matter experts, including former and active residents' council members. This information is not legal advice, but intended to provide guidance to help local residents' council leaders make informed decisions. The material is delivered in a question and answer format, mimicking conversations many of us have been a part of. Welcome to our introduction to continuing care retirement communities. In this module, you'll learn what a continuing care retirement community is and a brief history of CCRCs. You'll also find out how CCRCs are regulated in Florida. We'll explain some common types of contracts, and we'll introduce you to the Florida Life Care Residents Association and talk about FLiCRA's mission.
What's a continuing care retirement community?
CCRCs are retirement communities that offer residents the opportunity to live independently in a maintenance-free setting. Residents enjoy a sense of community. Dining, fitness facilities, activities, educational programs, and entertainment are offered on campus. Transportation is also available for off-campus appointments or activities. As a resident's needs change, assisted living, skilled nursing, and memory care are generally available on campus or nearby.
How long have CCRCs been in existence?
Continuing care retirement communities have been in existence for over 100 years. Early CCRCs were organized by not-for-profit religious or fraternal groups to provide care for their aging members. Masonic and veteran homes are examples of these early CCRCs. Since the mid-1980s, there's been a slow push to for-profit facilities, and large corporations have entered the industry. Nationally, CCRCs have experienced rapid growth since 1990. In Florida, about 25% of the licensed CCRCs are for profit.
Is there a law that covers continuing care contracts?
Chapter 651 of the Florida statutes covers continuing care contracts. The Florida Office of Insurance Regulation is responsible for the regulation of this specialty insurance product. They may also be marketed as life care or life plan agreements.
What is the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation?
Led by Florida's Insurance Commissioner, OIR is the lead regulatory agency overseeing Florida's insurance industry. They're entrusted with the duty of carefully monitoring the statewide industry markets. OIR is responsible for regulation, compliance, and enforcement of statutes related to the business of insurance. The Specialty Insurers Unit oversees CCRCs under Florida Statute 651. In 2019, a major revision of Chapter 651 was passed into law based on a compromise reached between FLiCRA and Leading Age Southeast. This revision provided for objective financial metrics and greater disclosure to residents. It clarified the regulatory enforcement tools available to the Office of Insurance Regulation and created tiers for regulatory action, including days cash on hand, debt service ratios, and occupancy levels.
Is a continuing care retirement community just a fancy name for a nursing home?
Not at all. Our homes and independent living let us enjoy the freedom to come and go as we please. With so much entertainment and many activities available on campus and transportation available to appointments and shopping, many of us find time to pursue interests that were formerly out of reach. Dining options free many of us from cooking, yet allow us to cook when we want. Transportation services free residents from the maintenance and insurance cost of owning a vehicle.
What are the higher levels of care?
As challenges emerge, services are available to help us remain as independent as possible. When we need help, trusted staff is here to support us during the transition to higher levels of care. The common care levels available in the CCRC are independent living, home health, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, long-term care, and hospice.
How would I know if I needed a higher level of care?
Activities of daily living is a healthcare term referring to basic self-care tasks such as bathing, dressing, toiletering, eating, and transferring. As residents age, many need assistance with one or more of these activities. The type and amount of assistance needed may signal when a higher level of care can help residents live their best life. The CCRC care team can help residents make this decision.
Do I pay sales tax on my meals?
Not if the meal is part of a meal plan, but meals purchased outside of your meal plan are taxable. In the 1990s, the Florida Department of Revenue proposed collecting sales tax on meals served to CCRC residents, even those paid for within a meal plan. The department's proposal would have made the tax on meals retroactive for the previous 5 years. FLiCRA helped defeat that proposal. FLiCRA continuously watches for proposals like this and others that could negatively impact CCRC residents.
Why is the entrance fee so high?
Contract terms and what amenities or services the resident receives for the entry fee varies from community to community. In some cases, the entry fee helps offset the cost of care you may need in the future, much like a long-term care insurance policy would. A portion of the entry fee may be refundable to you if you leave the property or to your estate.
I paid this huge entrance fee. Now, does this mean I can tell people I own my home?
In most CCRCs, you do not own your residence. However, it is considered your permanent home for homestead equivalent purposes for property taxes. Florida law under Florida Statute 196 provides for a homestead equivalent for nonprofit homes for the aged, which includes nonprofit CCRCs.
How does the homestead exemption benefit the residents?
In nonprofit CCRCs, the tax savings reduces the operating expense of the parent organization. In this case, residents indirectly benefit from the tax savings. FLiCRA secured a comparable section of law for for-profit CCRCs. In for-profit CCRCs, the tax savings is provided directly to the resident as a credit against their monthly service fees.
Are there different types of contracts?
There are many different types of contracts, from all-inclusive to month-to-month rentals. Types A, B, and C are the most common. Type A contracts generally require a higher entrance fee and monthly service fee. In exchange, residents have access to all levels of care without an increase in fee outside of annual cost of living adjustments. Type B contracts have lower entrance fees. The expenses may rise as the resident moves to higher levels of care, but they may receive a discount on the market rate. Facilities strive to keep residents on campus. Type C contracts, also known as fee-for-service, have low entrance fees. Residents pay the prevailing current market rate as they move to higher levels of care. Rental contracts have no entrance fee. The residents may pay a community fee, which provides access to the amenities. The monthly service fee may be higher than other contracts. The rentals are usually month to month, and residents pay market rate for higher levels of service. Residents who are renting a unit in a CCRC do not have the same rights as residents with a continuing care agreement. Make sure you do your homework. Contracts may vary, so it's important to read and understand what each provider is offering. The State of Florida Department of Financial Services, which includes OIR, publishes a guide on choosing a CCRC. A link to the guide is available on FLiCRA.com.
What exactly is FLiCRA?
The Florida Life Care Residents Association was formed in 1989 by Pat Lyons, a resident of Indian River Estates, a CCRC located in Vero Beach, Florida. Since its inception, FLiCRA has been responsible for and participated in many legislative efforts that benefit CCRC residents. Your membership dues provide 99% of FLiCRA's funding.
Can you tell me what the mission statement of FLiCRA is?
FLiCRA's mission statement is to promote and protect the rights of residents who live in CCRCs.
Do we have somebody that watches the state legislature?
FLiCRA actively monitors bills primarily related to the Florida statutes 651, Continuing Care Retirement Communities, 400, Nursing Homes and Assisted Living, 641, Healthcare Services, 196, Taxes, paying attention to sales tax and ad valorem taxation for homes for the aged, 631, Insurer Insolvency, and 624, Insurance.
Does it have a policy that governs taking positions on legislation?
Yes, we do. The board asks itself the following questions. Does the bill or amendment restrict residents' rights, enhance residents' rights, likely result in increased cost to residents, or likely result in a decreased cost to residents? Are there other groups who publicly support the bill or amendment? Are there other groups publicly opposed to the bill or amendment? Is the bill controversial based on certain elements of the bill, but not in its entirety?
How does FLiCRA accomplish their mission?
FLiCRA develops relationships with legislators and the staff at state agencies. We regularly participate in meetings at state advisory councils and other governmental bodies, and we stay in constant contact with key state legislators who oversee insurance, healthcare, and elder affairs issues. FLiCRA stands ready to issue a call to action to all CCRC residents when needed. We liaison with Leading Age Southeast, the Office of Insurance Regulation, the Agency for Healthcare Administration, and the Department of Elder Affairs. We compile information on CCRCs across the state and publish resources for residents and residents' councils. We directly support residents by answering questions from residents and their families, bringing them together from different CCRCs, and provide resident council training such as this. With FLiCRA, CCRCs pay less property tax because of the homestead equivalent. The Resident Bill of Rights is in FS 651. Providers must undergo an actuarial study and receive approval from OIR before they can offer at-home contracts to off-campus residents. Providers must provide a detailed explanation to residents if the monthly service fee increase exceeds the Consumer Price Index. The Designated Resident Representative, or DRR, represents residents during meetings about increases in fees or changes in service. CCRC residents have been invited to serve on state advisory councils. We also have seats on the Panel on Excellence in Long-Term Care and the End-of-Life Care Working Group. With FLiCRA, there are mediation arbitration procedures for disputes between CCRC residents and owners or providers on grievances. And residents can use their retirement plan's prescription drug benefits in the nursing home setting of the CCRC. This was opposed by the Florida Pharmacy Association and several drug companies. In this module, we learned that early CCRCs were founded by religious and fraternal organizations, that residents can move from independent living to skilled nursing to assisted living or memory care as their needs change. CCRCs are regulated by the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation. Florida Statute 651 is the law governing CCRCs. In 2019, it underwent a major rewrite, and financial metrics and reserves, among other items, were added. That high entrance fee you pay may help pay for future care. Contracts range from all-inclusive to monthly rentals, depending on the facility. FLiCRA was founded in 1989 to promote and protect the rights of residents in CCRCs. Since its inception, FLiCRA has been responsible for and participated in many legislative efforts that benefit CCRC residents.
How do residents interact with the management of the CCRC?
The Residents Council acts as a liaison between the residents of the facility and the representative of the provider. To learn more about the roles and responsibilities of the Residents Council, see Florida Statute 651, the basics. FLiCRA's membership has grown steadily since its inception. FLiCRA produces a quarterly newsletter full of information important to our members, and during Florida's short legislative session, FLiCRA regularly communicates information on legislation that may affect our members. Local chapters provide vital communication, network between chapters, and monitor the conduct of their providers. Your membership dues provide 99% of FLiCRA's funding. Visit FLiCRA.com for more information.